Hello and welcome to the Hotlapper YouTube channel. This week I've come away from Automobilista 2 and I've joined iRacing. I've paid my £13 subscription. I'm going to do some online racing, and that's the part where iRacing really comes into its own. It's competition and multiplayer, something Automobilista can't touch. So when I do come onto iRacing, I'm a bit like everyone else. I like racing the Mazdas. I also have a thing about racing the Renault Clio Sports. But today we're actually taking part on a multi-class race. There's actually 4 classes that can take part in this race. There's the Mustang, the Ford Mustang, there's the Toyota GR86, there's the Renault Sport Clio 200, and there's also the Mazda MX-5. Now there is no Mustangs in this race and there's no Renault Sports, so it's 20 GR86s and we've got 14 MX-5s, of which I'm one of them. We've got 25 laps around Oulton Park and it's a brilliant race. I managed to qualify 3rd in class and I qualified 5th overall with a 1 minute 30.7. All in all, it's a good result to start with. So as we approach the start finish line, we've got myself in 3rd place, we've got Gus in 2nd and we've got Okan in 1st. Gus is in the black and green 3 Mazda and we've got Okan in that pink and blue. And as we're going to the first corner, as always, you've just got to be very cautious because there's always going to be a collision, and with 34 cars on tracks, there's obviously going to be something. There you go, the number 28 car was the first to spin off and it's caused a bit of a pile up behind us if you look in the rear view mirror. We'll take a look at the replay once all the action has stopped. And I'm still fighting for position. Okan's still fighting position. This is the 2nd hairpin and we're still all jostling to try and just get as far up the field as we can, but I'm always very cautious. And as you can see, these Mazdas, they can keep up with the 86s quite easy. I think it's a battle between the power of the 86 and the lightweight of the Mazdas, but it's really fun to have 2 classes all racing at the same time. That's one thing I really like about iRacing. As we're going to Druids now, Okan, he just lets his back end slide a bit too much. Maybe it's the cold tyres that's made him make that mistake. But somehow we're in 1st place. First lap, 1st place. But we've got Gus behind us. If you look in the TV cam at the bottom, we know Gus is fast. And as we go into 1st lap, we can take a look at that replay now. What happened in the 1st corner where everyone was having that pile up. As you can see, the 86s was having a bit of a dog fight. I think he just lost back end under braking, but it looked like it was reversing a little bit, and all the other cars started taking a reaction to that, trying to dodge him, and they started taking other cars out. We were a bit unsafe, to be fair. We should have waited till everyone had passed, but until you get to the higher licence classes, that's just what happens. People make these mistakes, or they're not careful enough, or they don't care enough. But back on lap 2, we're still in 1st place and we've got Gus right behind us. And as you're racing, the pressure you can get from a driver sticking behind you it can force you to make mistakes, so you've just got to try and keep your cool. But as we pull up behind this 86 here, Gus is following us straight away right behind us. One of the best tactics to use with the other cars is to try and get cars between you and someone you know who is faster. And I'm not denying that Gus is faster, so I'm just trying to get as much between us as we can to hopefully encourage some sort of mistake or some sort of dogfight to allow me to just edge ahead in front of Gus even more.
That was rude.
And as you can see, he's popping out from behind the 86 to try and catch me back up. He's a good racer. As you know, I'm more of a hot lapper than a racer, so I think one of my biggest issues is I'm putting too much pressure on the tyres and wearing them out, because towards the end of the races I always seem to be sliding a little bit more than the competitors, and it's a bit of a struggle. So I do need to try and be a little bit more smoother from now on and think more about tyre management and how it's going to affect me later on in the race. So this is the start of lap 3 now, and we're all starting to space out. We've all found his place. Obviously it's a class race and I'm number 1st, but obviously if the overall position is also something worth fighting for, so I'm trying to pass all these Toyota 86s, and the more I can put between me and Gus, the better. That's my prime focus at the moment. And thankfully we're able to dodge that one that's spun out just then. And we've got the run up on these two, and obviously I don't want to let off throttle to stop my momentum, so I managed to just pull to the left. I don't know if he was trying to block me or just drafting from the one in front, but I've somehow managed to get in front of both of them. And I take this corner and I'm able to make the move.
Thank you.
And I got a little compliment from the driver, one of the drivers in the 86. I like this chopper cam. It shows everything in from a good point of view. As you can see, I've got the momentum, and I don't know if we're trying to block me. Probably was. But I managed to do some fast and furious manoeuvre there, just left, right, and get in front of him.
Nice move there, Paul.
Thankfully I was able to just stay in the middle of the track, and that was enough. And that's because I was in the Mazda. I think if I'd have been in the Toyota at that point, I wouldn't have been able to enter that corner quite as quick, so it might have been able to still be fighting me now. But for now I'm just able to just pull ahead, as you can see. And Gus is now behind the two cars behind me, so I've managed to put a little bit of distance between us, and the distance is climbing. So it's gone up to 1.6 seconds now. As we go through Lodge, we're starting lap 4, and things are looking good. Now as we start lap 4, I can tell you now there's no instances to report on this one. It's just a straight sailing lap, but while I'm racing this lap there's a few key things in my mind, and obviously we're going back to Gus again. Gus Toetti is always in my rear view mirror. You can see it there, that green and black Mazda. The pressure's always there, and although we can get right on the back of these GT86s, and then it eases my mind a little bit knowing that there's another car between me and Gus, because although I've got past that 86 there, that's not always the case. Sometimes it can cause a little bit of an issue, they can cause a crash, they can just fight you for position, and that allows me to get away. But Gus is always a concern, and if you look at the times between me and Gus in the top left at the moment, it's 2.2 seconds, but in a minute you see just how quick he can gain that time on me. He obviously knows something that I don't, and while you're racing you've got to read the storyline of what's happening in this race, and the storyline that I'm getting is, unless I stay on my toes, Gus can catch me really quick. He's taken 2/10 in just that one corner at Druids there, and that's because he's got past the GR86. Then as soon as there's not a car slowing him down, he's straight at my case, and look, he's already 1.6 seconds behind me from 2.2. That's amazing. And still heading into this first corner, Gus in the rearview mirror as always. All I can do really is just take my lines clean, don't come off, and hopefully that's enough to fend him off. But like I said before, I just think sometimes I might be pushing a little bit too much and either overheat my tyres or losing grip on my tyres, and the further the race progresses, the more of a disadvantage I feel, and I think that's where Gus is getting the better of me, you know, the longer the race goes on. But we're chasing a pack of 86s again now, and these 86s don't seem to be as good as the MX-5 in the corner exit. It's where I seem to catch them up the most. As soon as I leave a corner, I'm on an 86, it seems. And this is car number 19, and this is driven by Alexander Costa. And I just managed to pass him in Druids, heading towards Lodge now, and you can tell he's a little bit peeved about losing that position. He wants it back. Look, he's staying right behind me, but he might stay up close to corner entry, but as soon as it comes to the exit, I'll be passing him. Here's a replay just showing how the overtake took place. It's really close. And Gus is there in the background, just waiting. He'll be past Alexander soon. We've got Costa behind us with Gus, and we're taking this first corner. We're approaching a pack of 86s again. But if you look in the rearview mirror, Costa spinning in his 86. Looks like something's happened between him and Gus, and here's the replay. That's the 86, number 1986, which we passed, and Costa's close on his tail as we knew he would be. And the 86 just loses back end. And what they've been saying this whole race, you need to put cars between you and anyone behind you to slow them down. Anything like that can help, and this is what Gus saw. This is from Gus's car. He just lost his back end. That's given me some more time to hopefully get away from him and put as much distance as possible between us. And we're back in my car now, and we're attacking these 86s. Gus is a little bit further back with another 86 between us, which is good. Exactly what we need. Very thankful for that. And again, corner exit and braking. The Mazdas are all over the Toyotas, and that's another car put between us and Gus. And then we're fighting for another 86. Here's a replay just to show how it was done. The 86 just ran wide, and we kept it nice and tight, and we got the position from him. So that's still in class, me in first, Gus Toetti in second, and Brandon Lee Sweer in third, which we haven't really seen. They've not really been part of this race for us. It's just Gus that we've been fighting, and these group of 86s that we keep coming up to. I think at this point I was just feeling a little relaxed now because Gus was out of the way. I was getting a bit tired of seeing that green and black Mazda in the back. You can see him there in the distance, but there's an 86 between us. He's managed to get rid of one, and I have no doubt that he'll get past the other 86, but we have another 86 in front of us, which we need to worry about now. We might be going for the overtake right now. When you get this far in the race, you really need to be careful. You don't want to go risking it with someone and end up having a collision and then you lose the entire race. Here's a replay. Very clean from both of us. He give me the space, I give him the space. But like I said, on the corner exit, the MX-5 just seems to walk all over them. I think they're more fun as well. I've had a go in the GR86s. I'm not really that good at them. They seem to be very soft on the suspension, and because I'm used to the MX-5s, I'm just not all about that. And now we're 2.3 seconds in front of Gus. That is a long time in racing terms. We're taking Knickerbrook now. I always hit that curb. It's a dangerous curb, that one. It has sent me into the grass a few times if you hit it too badly. And Gus has took the time down to 2 seconds. No doubt he's deciding how he's going to take down this 86 in front of him. And I'm just hoping that the 86 might pose a bit of a threat like the last 86 did. And this is the start of lap 8 now. And again, we're just trying to keep it on track, stay clean, hit all the entry and exit points and try and be as fast as possible. Hopefully Gus will stay behind us. And that's, as always, the plan. As you can see in the TV cam in the bottom right, he's overtook the 86 now, so he's directly behind me. There's nothing in front of me really that I can catch up with. But saying that, I have caught up with the 86 in front of us, the green one, number 26, is made a bit of an error. We're right behind him, so that's another 86 that can get behind me. And it looks like we've just got the speed of him as we go into the third gear. And heading towards Knickerbrook. The position's basically mine now. But again, we know that Gus is going to pass him. That's no surprise. And if you look in the rear view mirror, you can see it's just the 86 is just parade to Gus. He's coming, and when you're racing, you always pick up on how good people are. You know the skill level, and as you can see, he's 1.1 seconds behind us. He's gone to a second already, and as soon as he gets past that 86, is going to be reeling us in now. Less than a second. We just got to see what we can do, and again, what can you do other than do your best? And he seemed to have more pace than me. I'm not sure if it's just down to skill. This race was only my third race, I think it was, after coming back to iRacing. I've been away for 6 months, so I'm thinking, is it just me being a bit cold? Do I need to have a few more practice races? Am I just a terrible racer? All these things start going through your head, and really should just be focusing on the race at hand. But as we hit the hairpin here, as you can see, he's on me. He's right up behind me. He's looking to overtake, and there's not a right lot I can do. You can tell he's got the speed on me, and he's gonna have a go. Heading into Knickerbrook now. This can make it break it. He's decided to just hang loose and wait for his moment. He knows he's quicker. He's just going to make sure it's a clean, safe overtake. And I gave him the speed. There's no point me even trying to fight it. I know he's a lot quicker. And from being a second back just a lap ago, he's now in front. And I've got to say that's great. He's a good racer. It's good to see good, clean racing. And what I do when I'm behind other drivers like this and I know they're quicker, now this is where I start to learn. Is there any weak spots which I've not noticed before? Is there anything I can take advantage of? Or is there just something I can learn to become quicker? As we start lap 10 now, it's all about trying to chase Gus. And at the end of the day, we're behind him now, so the pressure's on him. He's going to be thinking, right, I need to leave this guy behind me. And we're still just about hanging in there, although he might be getting tenths of a second ahead of us. We still want to try and apply pressure. And as you can see, he's pulling away now on the straight. He's quicker than me on this track, but you never know what might happen. You've still got to try and put in them fast lap times, because you don't know if he might make a mistake and come off. Something might happen with one of the cars ahead of him. They might try and defend position and end up taking him out. You never know, so you've still got to push. And obviously, he's probably going to get in front of one of the 86s. And if that's the case, I've got to be then ready to fight the 86. So, still got to keep up the pace, keep it clean, go as fast as possible. I don't think there's anyone behind me that's going to catch up at this point. I'm just trying to catch any car up ahead to try and get their position, basically. And as I said before at the beginning of the race, I'm not sure if I'm wearing my tyres out or what, but I always seem to be what I feel is a bit of a disadvantage towards all the end of these races. I think iRacing is it focuses on tyres, and you know, it focuses on your tyres overheating and wearing out a lot more than other simulators, I think. So you've got to be really careful, because if you've been going hard most of the lap like I tend to do, like I'm used to doing hot lap videos and I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing, and then if I make a mistake I just start the next lap, it doesn't matter. But obviously when you're racing, well, the entire race matters. You've got to be doing your every single lap, keeping in mind on the fact that you want to be going quick later on in the race. So I think that's something that I need to improve on. I've got to think to myself, right Dale, it's a race, stop being in hot lap mode, maybe don't push so hard, and make sure you've got the grip and the speed later on in the race. At this point now, I'm starting to catch up to Louis Duval in his 86, and at this point all the drivers in front of me now are quick, so it's not like easy, it's not like low hanging fruit. It's not going to be easy to overtake anybody else, but I still want to make up as many positions as I can. Obviously that's the name of racing. But I can just see this one car dropping back, and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to try and get in front of him. Ideally, I would like my place back from Gus, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's proven himself, so far at least, to be on top form. He's got the speed, he's got the consistency, he doesn't make any errors, and he also is able to navigate around the track and keep out of trouble. And if you've got them four things, you're in good stead, you're going to get them results. At the moment, I think I'm working on all 4 of them just as I get used to iRacing again, because like I say, it does feel a lot different from say like Automobilista 2, which I can get behind the wheel on Automobilista 2 and I'm flying. But on iRacing, it's a different beast altogether. You've got to learn how to drive the car specifically to the track, so you're trying to learn every single corner, nuance of the track. You might think to yourself, where do I find this extra 1/10 or 2/10, and then all of a sudden you realise it's just one corner that you need to do differently, or you might have to take a certain corner in a particular gear, or maybe try and rotate the car. And it's that one thing that can give you a 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. Whereas Automobilista and other sims, I don't know, you just get in and drive and you don't feel like you have to be so accurate like you do on iRacing. But that's the joy of racing. I think it's the same in real life. You're trying to find the 10ths all the time, and then once you've found the 10ths, you're trying to do it consistently to hit the same lap time again and again and again, and you're trying to improve again and again. Every single lap you're doing, you're trying to find where you can go quicker. And if there's a certain car in front of you that you know is a bit quicker than you tend to watch them, and that's the way to do it, I think. And heading into this hairpin again, I'm getting closer. You can see I'm getting ever so closer to Louis Duval in his 86. And he must know I'm there now. In his rear view mirror, he'll know I'm there, and he's thinking to himself, it's getting towards the end of the race and I don't want to lose this position. Everyone in their position now must know this is going to be their finishing position, as long as they stay clean and don't make any mistakes. But unfortunately for Duval, I'm behind him, and he knows I have the potential speed to pass him, especially in some corners, especially here in Druids. I tend to just be a little bit quicker, but then again it's not by much, so it just knows he has to perform, so the pressure's there, and I'm catching up again here in Lodge. And I think at the time I was pushing, to be fair. I was trying to go quick, and say with this first corner here, it's a tricky corner. You've got to try and keep your speed, but you don't want to go so fast that you fly off here. But you don't want to drop behind either. You still want to be quick. And this is also another tricky corner. And your tyres are going off a little bit as well, so it's getting harder and harder and harder to be fast and to be accurate. I always seem to do well, even though this is where Gus seemed to catch up on me. That hairpin corner, usually I do well, and it's where I tend to catch up with the 86s. If you've noticed all the way through this race, that hairpin, the MX-5, has had a definite advantage over the 86s, and I think that's just because it's light and nimble. And we're getting ever so closer now. And I could have gone from the overtake here, and again, it's at the end of the race. Nearly, anyway, it's the later laps, and I do manage to pass him. Here's the replay. This is a good angle. He just left it in Knickerbrook a little too slow in the corner exit, and I just managed to pass him. But saying that, like I said, he's not slow neither, and he's definitely a good racer, and he's not let me get far ahead unlike all the other cars this race. It's right behind me. Look at that. And here we're going Lodge. He's got the place back. So it was a nice attempt. It was a nice attempt by me, and I went for it. But he wasn't having none of it, and he wanted the place back, and fair play to him. And at the start of lap 15, it's turning out to be a bit of a dogfight. It's me, and I'm against Louis Duval in that 86. And at the moment, he's currently running in 3rd overall, and I'm in 4th overall. So obviously, if I pass him, I'm going to get, as it stands now, a silver trophy for the in-class. And if I pass him, like I said, that would be a bronze overall. So I'd be coming away with 2 trophies. So my full attention is now on passing Louis Duval. And you can see in front of him there's a back marker, which I hate to see at this stage of the race, because you don't know if they're going to be a problem for you. Are they going to move out the way like they should, or are they going to dawdle about and slow you down? So that does start to worry me. Hopefully he'll stay ahead of us both, or he'll let us both pass without any problem. But leaving Knickerbrook again, just like the last lap, catching up to him, that seems to be his weak spot, and I know that. So I need to make sure I hit it every time. And into Drew, as he locks up or does something, but there's smoke coming off his tyre. And like I said not so long ago, if you let your tyres smoke, they're going to overheat quick, and that stops you from taking corners at speed then. iRacing is very renowned for making you lose your grip if you overheat your tyres. And that's fair enough. So start lap 16 and the dogfight continues. And hopefully we're just going to pressure him into making a mistake. He took a lot of inside curb there, but then again so did I. It can knock you off the track, and your race can be over if you're not careful. We're really both running about the same speed. The lap times must be very similar. I mean, I know I do have the draft behind him, and I managed to brake just a second later, but it sends me too deep into the corner. I'm trying just a little bit too hard, and he gets the place straight back. I think I'm just getting desperate now. I wanted to get his place. I'm wanting to get third. As it stands right now, I'm second. I've got the silver trophy. Gus is long gone. There's no chance I'm getting Gus, but obviously I know at this point here I might have a chance to pass the 86 in Knickerbrook, going on to Druids and then Lodge. That's where I'm strong, and that's where he's weaker. And if I could see his rear view mirror, I know I'd be in it. And I bet he's sweating right now. But he's managed to maintain his cool. We're starting lap 17. Same as we started the last two laps. A bit of a dogfight. He seems to be pulling ahead just a little bit, but he's not lost me. I'm there. And again, that back marker, even though his back marker is pretty quick, he's keeping pace, so he's not really causing a problem, and that's a good thing. He's getting a bit sideways, and I've got a little bit of understeer. I think it's just because we're both pushing it, we know what's at stake. And this is what I love about racing. Situations like this, who's going to crumble the first? Who's going to make that first mistake? Or do we both play as cool and be a bit of a hero? And he's managed to get past the back marker. Is he going to let me by? We've run out of room, he knows that, so he's thought to himself, I'm sticking in, and it's kind of sent me a little bit funny. I've hit the curb, and that's managed to let Louis Duval get.
Really, dude, on the racing line, if you're in the pit, get out of the damn racing line.
Oh, someone's upset there, listening to the radio. But yeah, as I was saying, the back marker's got a little bit in the way, it has slowed me down. It wouldn't have hurt him to just stay completely out of the way, take a bit of time loss and let me just get past him, so I could have continued the fight, but I don't think it would have changed. I still think I'd have been behind Duval, so I won't hate on him too much. And the race is over. And to say I think that was my third race since coming back to iRacing. It was a fun race, and iRacing is all about consistency and keeping you cool, and I really enjoyed that. I'll just get the results up now. So yeah, all in all, pretty good race. Obviously, number one, Gus Toetti, it was a brilliant result. He did a good race, and as you can see, his best lap there was a 1 minute 28.8, and no one else was touching that. He's obviously he's got the skills. But myself, I got a 4th overall, which is pretty damn good. Out of 34 other cars, I'm happy with that, because I think this was my third race. And in class, it was actually 2nd place, so I've got a silver trophy. I'm happy with that. So a 4th place overall and a 2nd in class. I'll take that. If you liked today's video, or you just like sim racing in general, please check my website. It's www.thehotlapper.com. It's a website and there's various stuff there to do with sim racing, but I do have a free ebook which you might like. The ebook is free and it's for newcomers into sim racing or people that are already in sim racing but just want to improve, and the ebook's called The 3 Pillars of Speed. It's free, and if you want it, just put in your email address and I'll send it straight to your inbox.